here we go. This is the Epic Universe Back to Hogwarts special for the Ministry of Magic Battle for the Ministry ride. And I've removed a lot of that pesky copyrighted music.
The Wizarding World of Harry Potter has been part of Universal Destinations and Experiences for 14 years. And next year, fans will get even more magic to discover. For Back to Hogwarts, we wanted to celebrate by bringing fans details about the magic at Epic Universe.
Okay, I just want to point out this person who is speaking here, he is head of themed entertainment for the entire company. So if there happens to be something that's not for Warner Brothers, not for Universal.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
yeah. So
he's specifically here for Harry Potter. He's not here for Universal Studios.
Right. Peter Van Roden, Senior Vice President, Global Themed Entertainment, Warner Brothers Discovery. So he is not a Universal employee, at least not yet, depending on how their stock price stuff goes over the next little while.
Well, that makes sense because Harry Potter, basically, that's a Warner Brothers property. So that would make sense.
So Peter here is the guy that J.K. Rowling calls when she's mad and says, Peter, you got a lot of explaining to do. He's basically the liaison with the boss.
How much global themed entertainment does Warner Brothers Discovery do, though? Like, is he like overlooking the DC roller coasters at Six Flags and stuff?
No, don't they have Warner Brothers Park in Australia?
They do have theme parks globally, but they aren't a major undertaking the way that some of these other companies are.
But does that also mean he's the liaison on the Warner DC characters with people like Six Flags?
I don't know. But let's keep going. That was supposed to be a footnote, and we're lingering for quite some time on it. Vash?
We do that. No problem. We do that.
Well, I was just going to say there are Harry Potter installations all around the world. There are traveling acts and so forth. So it might be in charge of that as well.
And there's a lot of them. This is an excerpt from like a 20-minute video that's talking about everything they're doing, including Cursed Child and exhibits and things like that. And I thought about doing that entire thing for this live stream, but I think we're going to focus just on the ride.
Fans will get even more magic to discover. For Back to Hogwarts, we wanted to celebrate by bringing fans details about the magic at Epic Universe.
We've continued to bring the storytelling to the next level. And this is just the next way.
Some of this is repeated from what we've already seen.
As you know, you'll be able to explore the streets of 1920s Paris, shop for beautiful new wands at Cosme Acajor, explore the wonders of Le Cirque Arcanu, and for the first time, fans will get to step inside the British Ministry of Magic.
Guests are going to walk through the Floo Passage and see the Ministry of Magic at its full scale,
curious
full
how it's
glory.
going to work.
I'm wondering myself. I'm thinking walls around you as opposed and going through. Maybe there'll be a little bit of a curve to it to keep you from seeing straight through. But
and just green smoke.
It would
green lights and smoke.
It's probably just a mist onto which is projected the green imagery.
Right.
Yep.
Full glamour.
The atrium is just an unbelievable space.
You'll see the Fountain of Magical Brethren statue restored to its rightful state, flying memos swirling through the atrium, and finally, you'll see the beautiful enchanted weather ceiling above you.
So they are
flying memos swirling through the atrium. How are they going to do that?
That's interesting.
It could be
magic.
It could be projections. I mean, they have something kind of like that in one of the parts of the queue for Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey.
Yeah, I would think
Sorry, Jonas,
some of this is going to be projected. But
no, it's all right. I was going in that same direction, so
I think physical effects might be used here as well. I don't think it's all going to be projection. I think a lot of it is, but maybe not all of it.
I hope it's not just a big screen up there. That would be disappointing. I have a feeling they're going to do a little bit more than that, though.
Yeah, me too.
Agreed.
Well, they've got to do more and more interesting than, for example, the Caesars Mall in Vegas and all those other fake sky overhead big areas that we've all experienced.
Agree?
Right.
This is the biggest thing that we've ever built.
It's here in the atrium. You'll discover it's the day of the trial.
By the way, that's absolutely correct. The biggest thing they've ever built. We've heard confirmation from several of our sources that are not prone to puffery. That it is, in fact, the largest internal land that inside land that they've ever built. So
huge.
Trial of Dolores Umbridge as you enter the new attraction, Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry.
The scale and detail of this ride is truly epic. I think it's going to be one of the great rides in the world.
We experience scenes that we've seen in the films, but also scenes that we've never seen before. Here in the locker room, we see evidence that Harry, Ron, and Neville are in training to become Aurors.
All
That's
right.
interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
Marvin, Marvin, do you does anybody remember what Neville was supposed to be doing after?
that. Oh, he's supposed to be the herbology teacher at Hogwarts, isn't he?
I do believe so.
Maybe Aura training didn't work out.
It is possible that they're just
Those
having him here for a moment because they are
Those who
supposed to
can't
be
teach.
the proper ages here.
Look, Jonas, at the end of the day, in the final battle against Lord Voldemort, if you pull a sword out of a magic hat and decapitate a Horcrux snake, I'm pretty sure the Aura department's going to be like, hey, man, why don't you come over and we'll have a conversation.
It
Then they're going
at
to
least gets
realize
you an
that he's
interview,
completely
right?
inept. He's like, you know what? This kid's good with plants, but not so much with anything else. So let's let him go teach at Hogwarts.
According to sources, he did briefly work as an Auror immediately after the war, according to a 2007 interview with J.K. Rowling.
How many times a day when he's a teacher, though, do you think he stands in that spot where he decapitated the snake, just waiting for somebody to ask him about it? Oh, it's so strange that you caught me here, of all places. Yeah, you know, back then. It's the coolest
I
thing
think
anyone's
fans
ever
are gonna-
done.
Let's pay attention to this one. This one's actually a pretty cool bit.
Be most excited for being able to encounter past ministers of magic in the Hall of Ministers.
Neat.
It's so fun to see the eras of ministers interacting with one another, from 1700s Scamp to 1980s Bagnold.
There's a map.
Okay,
room
now there's an effect that's already like that in the castle for Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, where you have the portraits, but you also have the portraits of the 4 founders of Hogwarts. So my guess is they've somehow plussed this up because those portraits do talk to each other.
Yeah, it looks like there will be more featured, and there will be 2 different eras featured as well, prominently. So there might be banter back and forth regarding those things. Pretty cool stuff here. But they have done something similar like this before. But I like the setting, and I like the prominent place it turns in the
It's
queue.
about the performances too. You know, when you think of Cleese and people like that. I mean, is one of them going to say, well, back in my day, you had to trudge through the mud in a blazing snowstorm in order to go out and cast that spell or something? You know, it's going to be because I got to tell you, of everything we've seen, this room as the hall where the founders are is kind of ordinary compared to some of the other interiors.
It is, but it's a good touch while people are waiting in the queue. You could just have a bunch of props and call it a day.
He's Bagnold.
There's a map room that shows us a magical moving map of the ministry.
You'll walk through the Aurors headquarters where you'll see them gathering information for cases. Here, the most discerning fans will find plenty of Easter eggs, including a tribute to fallen Aurors.
We get to walk through Umbridge's small but extremely ornate pink and gold ministry office.
One of the really fun characters that we are going to meet in this adventure is Higgledy,
There she
Umbridge's
is.
former house elf.
Higgledy is packing her office up in preparation for the trial.
And yes, of course, there are plenty of cat plates.
I was going to say, where are the plates with the cats on them? That can't be Umbridge's office unless you have those.
Is it just me, or does this guy look a lot like Game of Thrones guy?
He kind of looks to me like Jim Broadbent's little brother.
George Miller. The cats, I was looking for that too, Lorena. But it looks like they have done her office in a way that definitely reflects her, the character. I'm sure they're going to be setting up the story and so forth in there. It looks, I think her office, I think, is the best part of this truncated view of the queue there from the big.
So this is kind of a combination of goodies for the fans who know the story and backstory pre-show for those who don't.
From there, you move on to the lift station. And at the lift station, you board these lifts that will carry you to the courtrooms for the trial.
Our ride is so technologically advanced. There are so many layers of elements.
This ride is unbelievably thrilling. feeling the energy of these lifts as it careens through the Ministry of Magic, starting off in the lift shafts, but then eventually going off course and going through different departments of the ministry, face to face with different creatures, face to face with.
This is going to be so cool. Oh my gosh. And just
cool.
looking at the lifts. So if you want an idea of what the lifts or quote unquote elevators are like, if you go to Escape from Gringotts, there's a portion where you go into the elevator and it literally feels like you are descending, I don't know how many hundreds of feet underneath the surface. So now you have this where not only is the elevator going in, horizontal position, a vertical position, but horizontal as well, and can move in different directions. That's what's really cool about this attraction.
And these are bigger than the Tower of Terror elevators, right? Seems to me I saw some comparison somewhere with diagrams and things.
I think the vehicle itself altogether is definitely bigger. I'm not sure how many people you can actually get into one of these. Vash, I bet you know.
I think they're similar capacity. I know that they'll have a lot of vehicles on the track, though. I think they have dual load unload stations in order to keep this line flowing. These vehicles are massive, though. They are very, very large, and the capabilities of them are insane.
Magic, starting off in the lift shafts, but then eventually going off course and going through different departments of the ministry, face to face with different creatures, face to face with Death Eaters. It is a truly thrilling experience in every facet of the word.
And not to give too much away, but you'll explore plenty of never before seen locations like the Ministry Archives and the Department of Magical Creatures. You'll see characters never before featured in
But actually, they're finally going to stick him in a ride.
an attraction.
Yeah, it looks like we have
Yaxley, McNair, the Carrows, and Kingsley Shacklebolt.
Actually, I would love to see a Kingsley Shacklebolt animatronic in here.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
We're so excited. Dame Imelda Staunton has reprised her role as infamous Dolores Umbridge.
Oh, that's what you really need.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Imelda Staunton is awesome.
I love how her prisoner's robes appear to be almost the exact same as her dress. Like there's pleats in it. It's actually pretty close to the original cut.
It's but you know who they did not mention here is Daniel Radcliffe or anyone playing Harry Potter.
Mhm.
Is Harry Potter not in Harry Potter and the Battle for the Ministry?
I think he is. I think they got all three of the power trio there because they also had Newt Scamander way back from the Crimes of Grindelwald contract. So I think Daniel Radcliffe is playing ball on these so that he can do whatever he wants when it comes to movies.
Yeah, we're very curious about that as well, Marvin. We have seen the names of the lead actors featured in prior press releases attached to Ministry of Magic and Epic Universe. We're wondering, are they going to be a CG facsimile of those characters? Are they actually going to come back and portray themselves? Is it going to be AI? We're all kind of curious as to how they'll be featured.
Leftover lines and outtakes from the prior rides.
That's a distinct possibility as well. They have said multiple times that they will be featured. We just don't quite know how.
All right.
She was absolutely brilliant in
And there's some dead guy right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
her performance. She got to take umbrage to the extreme.
It's been a real pleasure for us to collaborate with Warner Brothers over the decades and bringing these fantastic Wizarding World stories to life. And I think fans are really going to be excited about our next offering.
The team at Universal are exceptional partners. We share the same vision and obsession for details that allows us to bring this incredible magical world together. We can't wait for fans to see this new era of the Wizarding World.
All right, guys, what are we thinking?
Notice to all directors of promos, don't do that bit where you shoot him from 3 angles and he looks off camera. He's talking to the audience. Oh, that frustrates me. But
Well,
anyway,
it's better than what they did in the 90s where they would have 3 moving cameras in the same space.
yeah,
Oh.
well,
Oh,
That's where the videographer has to justify his paycheck right there.
yeah, well.
we do have it looks like the full listing of the characters featured in this attraction, or at least some of them anyway. You can see their names on screen. The last time I tried to read these names, that didn't work out so well. And also too, we have some bio reconstruct photos of the construction here. It looks absolutely amazing. Work is proceeding pretty well. I'm trying to get some clarification because I was talking to my sources on this, and it sounded like the ride might not be ready for opening because they are having it's a very technically challenging ride for them, and they're having some issues right now in order to make sure that everything works. But very ambitious, that is for sure. And you can kind of see just the scale of some of this stuff. It's absolutely massive. These are the largest show buildings that Universal has constructed to date.
Now that's actually a pretty big thing that you said there. You're saying that if this is not going to be open with the park, this is, I would put this right up there with the Monsters Unleashed ride as probably one of the premier attractions here at the park. So that's a pretty big deal for that headline to be buried.
That was a highlight from our live stream on That Park Place, where the full stream can be accessed by members to the That Park Place YouTube channel. But what about you? What do you think about this very intriguing and fascinating story? Please let us know in the comments below. Like this video if you did like this video. Share us out, as it helps us out tremendously against the YouTube algorithm. And thank you so much for watching. T3BO. Please comment, like, and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to That Park Place Podcasts Online, your source for exclusive content and highlights from WDW Pro, The Pro Show, and That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.